Mitch, whether it be focus, hard work, all that goes into an attention to detail, scoring first in 5 consecutive games, what has gone into that over the last week or so?
Uh, I think our starts have been a lot better than they previously were, and I think we're starting with the puck a lot of times. And I think when we get it, we're not rushing plays. We're not, trying to rush into the zone. I think we're making the right plays, trying to find the right opportunity to strike, and we haven't missed when we've done it.
How does it help to elevate the group when you have your defensemen getting really involved offensively the way that they have been the last few games?
It's great. It helps the forwards a lot in the O-zone. It also, I think, makes it real tough on the opposing teams. Kind of just 5 guys on the ice. They don't really know who to cover. They don't know who to take. Last game, I remember I made a pass down to Mo behind the goal line. He came out. He passed the Bears back door. So, I think just seeing that teams get confused on who to cover, who to watch, I think it finds open spots in the area, and guys are doing a good job getting there. And when we're getting our opportunities, we haven't missed too much. We just gotta make sure we just keep playing patient with it, and when we get those chances, put them in.
It's not unusual to see you, John, or Austin play 20-plus minutes a night now. You're 9 of the last 11 games. What does that mean to you in terms of getting into a flow of the game and getting an opportunity, obviously?
Yeah. It's just you want to be on the ice. You want to try and be a difference maker and try and help your team win. So I think anyone's kind of ready to play any of those minutes. I thought, when we're out there, we've been smart with the puck. We haven't been throwing it away too much. We've been holding on to it. So I think at the same time, we're playing with the puck a lot of those minutes, which is good. And I think it makes you feel better as a player. And like I said, I thought recently our O-zone play has been pretty good, and we've been creating a lot of opportunities.
You look at the last few games, in fact, any game really, there's always a marquee player or two in the other lineup. How do the last few games prepare you for Panarin here tonight?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of the same. You get McDavid and then Eichel, and obviously Panarin's playing really well, and he's been a good player for a long time. So it'll be a good test for us to try to slow him down too, and it'll be a team effort.
Has the club done a good job, do you think, in the last couple of weeks of getting on its toes as opposed to being back on its heels?
Yeah, I think we've done a great job at starting games and getting leads and having good first periods, and we're still working on when we do get up, we got to try to find a way to lock it down and not let them have any life and come back in the game. But we're playing well lately, so we just got to try to keep building on that.
How does Sheldon encourage you guys as defensemen to get involved offensively, especially down low around the net?
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's given us a lot of freedom and really encouraging us to get involved in the offense and create movement in the O-zone. And I think it's tough to play against when we're on the other side of it, so it makes sense for us to get moving and try to confuse some other teams.
Do you view that as part of an identity of the team when you get a lead and then figure out not just how to play with it, but build and lock?
Yeah, I think we can do a better job of when we do get the lead. There's a reason we got it, and we can't change the way that we play. And you want to be responsible, and as defensemen, you don't want to be late in a game when you're up a goal, kind of diving in and creating, a rush the other way. But I think we have to continue to push the pace, and when we do get in the O-zone, we have to stay active, and maybe instead of just protecting the lead, we can actually build on it.
Justin, much talk about the power play not getting the opportunities. The penalty kill, his club is 85%. I was just going over the statistics this morning. What have you seen on a PK perspective that it's allowed it to be more adept? Confidence? Is it more harder work? What goes in?
Yeah, I think confidence is a big part of it. Even early in the year when we were struggling a little bit, I think everyone felt pretty good about it still. We were like, okay, we're going to break out of this at some point. That being said, we haven't been perfect, and it's still an emphasis for us. And obviously the special teams can be the deciders in games, so it's going to be important for us to be sharp every night in the PK.
How much freedom do you feel like you guys have with Sheldon to be more involved offensively as defensemen?
Yeah, I think we have more freedom. I think in a lot of senses too, it's not necessarily freedom, it's more you have to be here to provide an option for the guys on the breakout or in the O-zone, so it's more of a mandatory thing than freedom. So it's kind of it's fun that way, and I think that it's been helpful for us generating offense.
How are things different for you guys? Look at the last 5 games, you're starting out with a lead. How does that change sort of the mentality and the pace of the game when you're not playing from behind?
Yeah, it definitely changes it a lot. So I think, we still have some things to clean up with playing with the lead. I think we all know that. And, the way you play is not going to be the same with a lead as it is when you're chasing the game. So I think we need to be a little bit more responsible, especially when the game starts winding down in the third period. But these are all things that we're working on and things that we can continue to improve on.
Sheldon, you look at the last couple of games, 6 of your 9 goals from players either playing on the third or fourth line. Does that speak to the balance, obviously, you're enjoying right now and like to see continue?
Yeah, of course. You'd like to have that all the time. It's worked out really well. That puck has fallen to those guys in at good times, and they've made good on it. So that gives you a boost every time that happens.
Tyson was saying that he appreciates how you encourage the D to get involved offensively when they can. Why is that important, especially for a guy like Tyson who needs that?
Well, yeah, I mean, when we have those types of players that thrive in those areas, you want to put them in spots where they can succeed like that. Just as a team, we think it's important, just in terms of how the game is defended these days, that you need to have additional options available. So that's why we like to involve as many people as we can there.
Rangers giving up 35 shots a game. How does that play into what you would like to do here tonight, yet still respect what you've got to do at the other end?
Yeah, well, that's a big thing, right? I mean, we think there's going to be opportunities there for us offensively, but at the same time, they're doing a lot of great things offensively themselves. So we've got to do a great job there defending, and how we take care of the puck and how we break out of our zone. That's going to be important, so we don't spend much time in our own end. That's a big factor, we think, going into this game, and we'll be challenged in that way.
What's it like learning for you on the fly? How do you do it?
Well, I've got great staff that has taken on a lot of that responsibility, and then kind of handing off the information to me when it's time to really bear down on an opponent. But the schedule comes kind of fast and furious here, and it's new opponents virtually every time. We've had a couple repeats, but generally we've been playing new teams all the time, and I'm trying to learn about the tendencies of the league, and usually a lot of the structures and things like that from team to team are pretty well the same, but it does differ, I think, league to league a little bit. I think there's things in the American League that are more prevalent than they are here, and then a little bit different now. So just working at that day to day, but I think we're seeing a lot of different themes that are coming up, but also a lot that remains the same.